Today we're going to talk about the thoracic cage to start with. Before I do that, I did want to point out that the foramen on your vertebrae, we talked about a little bit in the classroom. In your sacrum, you can see that the nerves are going to, that is the opening for the nerves to come out. And also along these transverse foramen in your vertebrae is where nerves and blood vessels are going to run through. So last section we talked about the foramen, but I failed to mention the purpose of them. That is what those openings are for, is for blood vessels and nerves to run through. So today we're going to talk about the thoracic cage first. Thoracic cage itself includes the ribs. So it includes the ribs. It will include the 12 thoracic vertebrae that attach to each rib. And then it's going to include the costal cartilage that actually attaches the ribs to your sternum in the front. So pectoral girdle, basically the job of the thoracic cage is to support the pectoral girdle, which will include your clavicle and your scapula, your arms, your upper limbs. It protects your upper abdominal cavities and, more importantly, your heart and your lungs. So your thoracic cage is basically this area here, very important for protection of your heart and your lungs. Ribs, normally, and sometimes for one reason or another, this will not be every human, but normally humans have 12 pairs of ribs. And those 12 pair attach to your 12 thoracic vertebrae. The first 7 ribs are called true. They're called true because they attach directly. So here's my sternum, here's my rib. It attaches directly to the sternum. So your true ribs are going to attach right to your sternum. That's the first 7. The remaining 5 are called false ribs because they don't attach directly to the sternum. The first 3 are going to attach indirectly, so they're going to connect to cartilage here that's going to come up to the sternum. And then your bottom 2 ribs are floating ribs, and they don't have any cartilage at all.
You might want to move that over. It's
Okay.
not on your screen.
Thank you. So true ribs attach directly. Down here, my 2 floating ribs have no cartilage to attach to at all. And then your other 3 false ribs are going to attach indirectly. So I can see this cartilage here goes to this bottom rib, and then it also goes down indirectly to these 3 down here. So the 5 at the bottom are all false. The 2 very bottom are your floating ribs. And ribs are fairly easy because they are thin, flat bones. They are fairly easy to break. Basic features of any rib: the curved part of it, the curved shaft. The head is where it will attach, and then the tubercle. The head is the part that's going to attach at the back. So it's going to actually attach to the vertebrae. So back here, that's going to be the head of the rib. The tubercle then is going to attach with the transverse process of your vertebrae. And that's going to come off down at the side where you can see there's 2 different parts. So your rib's going to attach on the inside here and on the outside in the back. So it attaches at 2 different spots. Sternum, very important. Your breastbone, proper name is the sternum. It's very hard. There are 3 parts to it. You should know all 3 parts. Manubrium, I might as well just leave them over here. Manubrium is the top, more round part. The body is the main shaft part. And then xiphoid, it starts with an X, but it's pronounced xiphoid. Xiphoid process is this tip here. If you take CPR, they'll kind of train you to look for that xiphoid process, because when you kind of find that area, and then you're going to, basically they say like 2 fingers up, and that's where you're going to put your hand for CPR. So it is very important in the medical field. So there's 3 parts to the sternum. And then there's just the picture that shows pretty much everything that we just talked about. So 12 thoracic vertebrae, 12 ribs. 7 true, 5 false, 2 floating. Manubrium, body, xiphoid process, all parts of the sternum. Important for protection of your heart and lungs. And I'll stop there for now. And next we'll do pectoral girdle.